kind of wanted to give a review over the Tethrd Mantis. This is the tree saddle I've used this past year, and I've used this saddle this whole season. I kind of want to go over some things I liked about it, some things I didn't like about it, and what I'm going to be changing on it here. So we'll go ahead and kind of break this apart. But so I have this whole saddles contained in the Tethrd Assist Hauler. This is the larger version, and so I have my tether on one side, I have my lineman's belt on the other, and then inside here I have the saddle folded into itself. So there we have the whole saddle. With the Ropeman one on it, and the Wild Country Ascent Light locking carabiner. I really like this tether. I've used some other ones with some static line that's a little bit stiffer. I like how easy this rope is to kind of fold up so you can fit it into a pocket. With lineman's belts, I've used different things, and I've ended up keep coming back to this. So this is actually a 2-inch webbing lineman's belt that came with a tree stand safety harness I used to use, and you can actually adjust it. You can pull it through there, and then you can take the tension back off with that, so you can do it one-handed. But sometimes this buckle, the webbing gets kind of sideways in it, and it doesn't feed good, so it's not nowhere near as smooth as using a Ropeman 1. So what I actually started doing is I'll add a carabiner to this. I clip this into my lineman's loop, clip this into my other's lineman's loop, and so I use this around the tree as my lineman's as I climb up, with the Ropeman 1 to feed it. And if you've never used a Ropeman 1, they are really hard to beat as far as feeding rope through. They take the place of a Prusik knot. So I use that as my lineman's belt on the way up. If I need to go around a limb, I use this as my secondary lineman's, so I can put this around the tree, clip in, unclip that one, go around the limb to get around it. When I get to the top, when I'm ready to set up, or I've already set up my platform, I'm ready to transition to my platform, I will put this on as my lineman's belt, tighten it up, take this off, take the extra carabiner off, and then use this as my tether and hook into it. And the reason I do that is this is a lot less bulkier than carrying 2 ropes with 2 Ropeman 1s, and that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I'm saving is less bulk, because this thing folds up so small. Alright, and those carabiners on there, I know some guys don't like to use the wire gate carabiners. These are rated at 18 kilonewton carabiner. I personally feel comfortable using them for the way that I use them on a lineman's. However, I don't necessarily recommend that anybody use these for their lineman's. The locking carabiners are a lot more fail-proof. You twist that up, you lock it, it can't come open as you're moving up the tree. Moving to the actual saddle, so I tried a bunch of different things on this. I had a bunch of pouches on here. I had 2 assist haulers and another pouch originally, and I tried to keep all my stuff in the saddle. My calls, my little accessories that you might need when you're up in the tree. And to me, it made this thing heavy and it sagged, and I didn't like that. So I took everything off of it. I realized that I don't like having anything on my saddle. I keep this one pouch on here. I fold the saddle back into it to store it, and then when I put the saddle on, I take my tether and it goes back inside that pouch. And my lineman's goes in the side pockets. until I'm ready to start climbing the tree. And that's it. That's the only things I keep on my saddle. I don't put a bunch of stuff in it. I've tried to eliminate a backpack. It is nearly impossible for me. I don't carry a big backpack, but I just like to keep all my stuff in the pack and take it up with me that way. So the only thing that I've added to this saddle myself is I made my own micro fit adjusters, just because I hadn't already had the stuff laying around to make them. They're pretty much identical to how tethers work. You have what's called a G hook that clips into this webbing loop, and you can use that to add tension. Alright, and then instead of mine being sewn, I just have a little metal webbing keeper that's ran through to keep that on there. I found out pretty quick that some guys, use this saddle without the micro fit adjusters, without anything like that. For me to help kind of cup it around me so that I sit in it better, I needed the micro fit adjusters, and so I put those on there. The things I liked about this saddle is how tight it packs up. You've seen how little it is when I have everything inside this. I mean, this thing can just wad up to almost nothing. It weighs nothing. It's super light. Everything on it is very well made. There's just a few things about this particular saddle I did not like, and I am going to be changing. One of those things is the fixed bridge on it. It's not that I don't like a fixed bridge. I do like a fixed bridge, but for me personally, the 30-inch bridge is too long. The saddle I used before this, I had a 24-inch bridge, and just to me it was a lot more comfortable. I've already tried a different bridge on here, and I liked it better, and so I'm actually going to end up taking off the factory bridge, cutting it off, and I'm going to go to a 24-inch webbing bridge. I'm going to tie it on with tubular webbing. Nothing against the Amsteel. I had Amsteel on my previous saddle. I like it. It does a good job. The only reason I'm going to webbing, really, it's just, to me, the webbing is just as good as the Amsteel, except it takes less time to put it on. So webbing, you can still, fold it up really easy, tuck it out of the way. It's light. It's not, something big and bulky, but it takes a lot less time to go ahead and tie it on versus splicing on the Amsteel. And I've spliced Amsteel, and it's not bad. It just takes a little bit more time. Whereas the webbing, you can swap out bridges in just a few minutes if you needed to. The other issue I have with this saddle, and I found a way around it. It rides up sometimes when you're sitting in it, and so the way I did it is when I actually have this saddle on. There's two places on this saddle you can hook your leg loops in. Okay, you have these G hooks that go on the leg straps, and you can either hook them up here around the waist belt, and so your leg goes through that on both sides, or this other loop down here, so right there by where your micro fit adjuster ties in. So and I found that if you put it up here under the micro fit adjuster, once you're in the tree and you cinch that down, that will keep that from riding up. So right there, you can see that's where I normally put these micro fit adjusters. That's where I like them. Aside from that, this is a really great saddle. So aside from the bridge, and just it does ride up some, and I don't think it does that for everybody. Just body types are different. This is a size large. I have about a 36-inch waist, and it fit me good. But I did try on an extra large, and I I liked it better. I hunted out of this, and I went to Saddlepalooza, and I tried on the extra large, and I did like it better. It fit better. It was a little bit more comfortable. So I will have to say, if you're looking at buying a Tethrd Mantis and you're on the fence on as far as what your size is, I would go up a size, because it just seems like it encompasses you better. The only downside to going up a size is these bridge loops are going to wrap around you further, and so it's going to make your bridge even seem longer. And if you're like me and you like a shorter bridge, then you're going to want to have to change that. Aside from that, this is a great saddle. So I'm going to do a video showing on how I'm going to put the change and put the webbing bridge on it, and hopefully it helps some guys that are maybe looking at this saddle or want to know, you know, some different ways you can tweak your saddle setup.